Hi everyone. This video is going to talk about sigma or summation of a series here. Just a couple notes. Sigma, which is this Greek letter right here, simply means sum. So you're just adding some stuff up. I'd like you to try this without a calculator. It reads, evaluate the series, that means find the sum. So there is a sequence defined by this formula. I would like to sum the first through the fourth term. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to find a sub 1. This down here is the lower index. It means it's the first term you need to find. Then I need to find the second, the third, and I stop at the fourth because that's my upper index. Many times I will say that I see it written with the lower index actually underneath and the upper above. This one is this software kind of sets it off to the side. If I plug in a 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. I'm going to add it to my second term where I'm plugging in a 2 for n. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. Plug in a 3. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, and a 4. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7. Add these up, 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16. And feel free to use your calculator. So again, this number, whether it's off to the side here telling you the variable or underneath, tells you which term you find first. And you need to find all of them until you get to the top one here or your last one, a sub 4, and then you add them up. So let's try 2 additional ones. In the example above, the variable was an n. It can be any letter. Here I have an I, here I have a j. Okay, so this one, again, I need to find the first through the fourth term. So I'm going to draw my lines here, and I'm going to add them up. I'm finding the first, the second, the third, and the fourth term. If I plug in a 1 for the i's, I would have a 1 over a 1 plus 1, or 1/2 is my first term. I'm going to plug in a 2, so that's a 2 for both of those i's. So that's a 2 over a 2 plus 1, so that's 2/3 as my second term there. 30. Plug in a 3 for the i's. 3 over 3 plus 1, that's 3/4. That's my third term. Fourth, so I'm going to plug a 4 in for both of the i's. 4 over 4 plus 1, so that's 4/5. Now, I would like you to push yourself, especially those of you thinking of taking your SATs. You do have to add fractions on there sometimes. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I could write all of those with a common denominator of 60. 1/2 is the same as, I'm actually going to put it above, 30 over 60. 2/3 is the same as 40 over 60 because I'm multiplying the top and bottom by 20. 3/4. 3/4, I take 4 times what gives you 60, that's 15. So 3 times 15 is 45. So I'm writing all of these with a common denominator. And 4/5, 5 goes into 60 12 times. So 4 times 12 is 48. So now, if I add those up, 48 plus 45 is 93. 93 plus 40 is 133. 133 plus 30 is 163 over 60. Just as a quick little review on that. Now this one, many times they start with needing to find term 1, but this time it says the first one I want to find is the second term, and I want to go all the way up through and including the fifth term. So I like to always lay it out. If I plug in a 2, -1 to the second power, that's -1 times -1 is +1. So this is +1 times 2 squared. So +1 times 4, because 2 squared is 4, would be 4. And let me write that down for those of you who may need it. This is what we just did. We plugged 2's in for the j's. So this is 1 times 4 is 4. Now I'm going to plug 3's in for the j's. I'll do that down here for those of you who need to see it. So negative 1 to the third. Anytime you raise a negative 1 to an odd power, it's negative. So it's negative 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, times negative 1 is negative 1. So it's negative 1 times 9, so this is negative 9. Let's go to my next one. Then I'm plugging a 4 in for the j. Negative 1 to the 4th power is positive 1, and then it's times j squared. J is 4, so it's 1 times 16 is 16. Now let's go to the 5, the last one here. If I plug in a 5 for the j, negative 1 to the odd power of 5, which means it's going to be a negative, is negative 1 times 5 squared. So negative 1 times 25 is negative 25. Okay, so let's add these up without a calculator. 4 plus negative 9, negative 5. Negative 5 plus 16, 11. 11 plus negative 25 would be a negative 14. Or I know you can just add that and put it all on your calculator, but this is just a little extra practice to make sure you're okay. Hope that helps. Regroup, starting term, ending term, find all of them in between, and be sure to add them. I'd like you to do it without a calculator as much as possible for extra practice.